I began this project with the awareness that so many of the cycles and patterns in our lives are invisible. And with the idea of elevating more of life into art. And one of the invisible patterns as a creator is the checks and balances, meaning well-being always coalesces and finds itself in symmetry and balance. And so as you lean off hard to the left, in order for that not to become too toxic and painful, one has to counterbalance. A particularly traumatic narrative, for example, might be counterbalanced with humor. And so I'm always finding myself seeking this internal center, this internal balance as I create. And my focus in creating tends to be that which is suppressed or denied. So it's generally painful terrain, because whatever is suppressed and denied culturally deteriorates, regresses, becomes angrier and less coordinated because it's being buried as opposed to being honored. Every energy that is honored elevates and blossoms. Every energy that is denied and suppressed regresses, deteriorates. And so going into regressive areas of the psyche, the personas that are met in that place are sometimes desperate, sometimes lonely, sometimes angry, sometimes very small and very young. So the counterbalance is grandiosity, nurturing, loving, play, humor, sensuality. And so I might go into a particularly deep place in language and counterbalance it with a particularly sumptuous feast, or a 2-hour cuddle with my wife, or listening to something very humorous, like I'm listening to Gerald Durrell's, Birds, Beasts, and Relatives, which also returns me to my teenage years when I first read the books. And so I think there's a certain art in being an artist and consuming sensuality and media and producing art in various dimensions. And I thought to bring awareness to that pattern as an artist, capturing a month or so of the intake of stimuli and the outtake of stimuli. I'm not including my marriage in that because while it is at least a 30% balancing factor, my wife doesn't like being on camera. But I can at least include the diet, the media, kind of intake and outtake as part of that. And for other people, it may also be an interesting diet to go back and forth if they have the time to play along in, I guess, the counterbeat that I'm using personally to navigate this terrain.